Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. Now the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you national, international, sports and business news. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us begin with the headlines. President and Vice President condemn attack on African nationals in various parts of the country. President says attempts to dilute long tradition of friendship unfortunate. Vice President accorded warm welcome on arrival in Morocco, meets External Affairs Minister, slated to inaugurate India-Morocco Chamber of Commerce along with Moroccan Prime Minister today. Last day of filing nominations for Rajya Sabha elections today. Congress indicates a row over nomination from Uttarakhand resolved with a decision to field a single nominee from the state. Faced with the threat of another Jat agitation, central forces deployed in 7 districts in Haryana. Section 144 also imposed in some areas. And final assault on Islamic State in Fallujah in Iraq launched. Offensive likely to last at least a few days with stiff resistance from the militants. 50,000 civilians trapped. Well, our top story, Vice President Mohamed Ansari was accorded a grand welcome on his arrival in the Moroccan capital, Rabat. He is slated for meetings with the leadership there today and also an inauguration of the India-Morocco Chamber of Commerce. On board Air India One, the Vice President underlined this historic significance of India-Africa ties.
The Moroccan Prime Minister welcoming Vice President Mohamed Ansari at the airport in capital Rabat on arrival in Morocco. Soon after arrival, the Vice President met with Moroccan External Affairs Minister to discuss bilateral issues. Earlier on board Air India One, the Vice President underlined the importance of links with Morocco and Tunisia.
With Morocco, we have, and Mukherjee knows it very well, a very substantive relationship because of one product that Morocco has, and it is very critical for our own agricultural sector. That is phosphates. So some Indian investment is there, some Indian companies are there. We buy, they are the world's largest supplier of phosphates. Tunis is also a rock phosphate exporter, but we buy smaller quantities from them.
A packed agenda awaits the Vice President today as he, along with the Moroccan Prime Minister, will jointly launch the India-Morocco Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Rabat. A number of MOUs are slated to be signed in the areas of education, IT and communication technology sectors.
Our trade with Morocco today is a little over $1 billion. It used to be $2 billion. It has declined, but hopefully we'll be able to catch up. With Tunis, the trade is modest.
Vice President Ansari also underlined the strategic significance of the two countries and said that India has been able to get the cooperation of the two countries in fighting international terrorism.
With both Morocco and with Tunisia, we have now very good cooperation in fighting international terrorism.
The Vice President's visit is a part of efforts to build on diplomatic gains from the India-Africa Summit held in New Delhi in October last year. The visit also comes in the backdrop of increasing number of attacks on African nationals in India. The Vice President condemned the incidents and highlighted India's historic links with Africa.
Our government views are very clear. They are guests in the country. We have to look after them. If they are a victim for whatever reason of a law and order problem, it is the duty of the government to provide them safety. So there are no two views about it. We greatly value our relationship with Africa, all parts of Africa. No country in the world has stood with Africa longer and more consistently than India. Our present commitment to Africa to develop a comprehensive relationship is something which is well stated. It was said by the UPA government, it has been said by the present NDA government.
In the second leg of his tour, Vice President Ansari will visit Tunisia from June 2 to 3. This is the first visit by an Indian Vice President in 50 years to Morocco and Tunisia. The Vice President will discuss with leaders of the two North African countries issues of terrorism, UN Security Council expansion, and investment in private sector, as well as ways to strengthen outreach to Africa and regional matters. Vishal Jain and Anu Diwan's report from Morocco for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, President Pranab Mukherjee has expressed concern over a sting of alleged attacks on Africans in the country. He said that he would be most unfortunate if the people of India were to dilute our long tradition of friendship with the people of Africa. The President's remarks came while addressing the delegates of 7th Annual Heads of Mission Conference who called on him. He also said that the African students in India should have no reason to fear for their safety and security. He said no impression which is not in line with our ethics or core values of our ancient civilizations should be created. The President said that he was happy that the Ministry of External Affairs, in consultation with the Ministry of Home Affairs, is proactively following up on the few isolated incidents that have occurred and working closely with the authorities to ensure the safety of African students in India. Meanwhile, Delhi Police Commissioner Alok Kumar Verma met a group of African nationals living in the city on Monday and he assured them of prompt readdressal of their grievances. Verma also apprised them of various steps being taken by the police for ensuring their safety and security in the city. The Delhi Police also organized a number of sensitization programs in South Delhi. A Joint Commissioner rank official has been appointed as the nodal officer for attending issues concerning African people living in the city.
Dozens of African students residing in New Delhi staged a protest at Jantar Mantar on Monday against the increasing racist attacks on them. The protesting students demanded swift action from the government in stopping such incidents.
Let the federal government of India do what they're supposed to do, because we have more than 5 lakhs Indians living in Africa and they are living in peace. We are not disturbing them. I don't think if the Indian government should allow your people to disturb us, whether it is pure, I don't think it's wise enough.
Meanwhile, family and relatives of Congolese national Masonda Oliver arrived in New Delhi to take back his mortal remains. Oliver was killed in a brawl in South Delhi's Mehrauli area on the 20th of May. His family now hopes to get justice for Oliver.
We will see when the trial will start what India government has promised. So if they accomplish it, it will be happy. It will be happy for the family and everyone. We expect something better can come coming days to try to India government to try to improve things for our safety here.
The government on its part has assured speedy trial in the case. Officials from the Ministry of External Affairs met Oliver's family, assuring them that those responsible would be punished severely. The government has also offered to bear all expenses related to the dispatch of Oliver's mortal remains. Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar also met students of the African community, assuring them that their safety is an article of faith for the Indian government.
हम लोग इसको बहुत सीरियसली ले रहे हैं और जो भी कदम उठाना चाहिए उसको रोकने के लिए अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम भी कर रहे हैं. पुलिस वाले मोहल्ले में जाकर के उन लोग से भी बातचीत कर रहे हैं लोगों से और साथ साथ जो अगर घटना हुआ है तो उसको कार्रवाई भी कर रहे हैं.
Amidst all this, an African national allegedly thrashed a cab driver in the national capital. The driver claims he was beaten up for refusing to carry extra passengers in his vehicle.
वहाँ मैंने कही मेरी गाड़ी में 4 सवारी अलाउड है, 6 सवारी मेरी गाड़ी में अलाउड नहीं है, भैया मैं नहीं ले जा सकता आपको. वो मेरे साथ जबरदस्ती करने लगे जी. मैं गाड़ी से नीचे उतर गया, धक्का मारा और मेरे पीछे से उसने आकर वो बेंच मारा आँख पे.
A case has been registered following Nuruddin's complaint. The police will soon be questioning the African nationals involved in the case. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, on to some other news. Well, today is the last day for filing nominations for the Rajya Sabha biennial elections. Now, these polls were necessitated as 55 members from 15 states are retiring between the month of June and August. Now, one seat each from Rajasthan and Karnataka vacated by Anand Sharma from the Congress party and Vijay Mallya Independent, respectively, will also go for polls. Polling to 57 Rajya Sabha seats from 15 states will be held on 11th of June. Now, out of the total 57 seats, a majority of 14 each belong to BJP and the Congress, while 6 members belong to the BSP, 5 are from the JDU, 3 each from SP, BJD and AIADMK. Now, 2 members each belong to DMK, NCP and TDP, while 1 member belongs to Shiv Sena. While a maximum of 11 members are retiring from Uttar Pradesh, 6 seats each will go to polls from Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. From Bihar, 5 seats will go to polls, 4 each from Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Rajasthan, 3 each from Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, 2 each are from Haryana, Jharkhand, Punjab, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. 1 seat from Uttarakhand will also go for polls. Meanwhile, in related news, locked in a face-off with the key ally PDF and a section of his Congress party over nomination for the lone Rajya Sabha seat from Uttarakhand, now Chief Minister Harish Rawat on Monday indicated that the row has been resolved and asserted that there will be only one nominee from the Congress and PDF, which together run the state government. The Congress leadership on Monday decided to stick to its plans to nominate Uttarakhand Chief Minister Harish Rawat's loyalist, former parliamentarian Pradeep Tamta for the lone Rajya Sabha seat, despite the spectre of revolt in the hill state. The decision came hours ahead of the nomination filing process and on a day that Rawat rushed to Delhi to meet the central leadership. Asked whether the political storm over the Rajya Sabha nomination was over, Rawat insisted there will be only one candidate of Congress and PDF for Rajya Sabha polls.
PDF से हमारी बातचीत हुई है, हम साथ-साथ चलेंगे. कोई PDF का अलग कैंडिडेट, कांग्रेस का अलग कैंडिडेट नहीं है, दोनों के कैंडिडेट एक होंगे. PDF के यदि कोई सवाल होंगे तो पार्टी लीडरशिप से मैंने आग्रह किया है कि उनको बुला करके उनसे बातचीत कर ली.
The decision to announce former parliamentarian Pradeep Tamta last week as the Congress's candidate for the upper house of parliament, for which election is due on 11th of June, did not go down well with its alliance partner People's Democratic Front and senior cabinet minister Yashpal Arya. But Congress played down the issue, saying it is a case of individual ambitions.
They are not strictly with the Congress. A certain view is there, but they are allies, they are valuable allies, they are partners, and you can rest assured that all such individual subjective views will be sorted out and are already being sorted out.
The nomination of former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram from Maharashtra has also ruffled feathers in the state unit, with senior leaders like Sushil Kumar Shinde and educationist Bhal Chandra Mungerkar also considered to be in race for the lone Rajya Sabha seat from the state. Congress's outgoing Rajya Sabha MP Vijay Darda's meeting with the Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari has also raised eyebrows. However, Congress sought to downplay the events.
The day I start responding to murmurs, it will be an endless press conference.
Meanwhile, other Congress nominees including Kapil Sibal from Uttar Pradesh and Ambika Soni from Punjab filed their nominations on Monday for the biennial polls to the upper house. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Now keen on investments from Japan to boost economic growth, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley met key ministers in the Japanese administration and wooed pension funds to partner in India's infrastructure development. Jaitley, on the second day of his 6-day visit to Japan, met Japan's Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Taro Aso to discuss the investment opportunities in India that it presents to the Japanese investors. He held wide-ranging talks with Aso to boost bilateral economic ties. Finance Minister also met the Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry, Moto Hayashi, in Japan on Japan partnership in India's growth story. He also had separate meetings with Minister of Health, Labour and Welfare, Yasuhisa Shiozaki, and with the Minister of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, Keiichi Ishii. Ishii assured to look into the Japanese investment in transport and infrastructure sector in India. Jaitley is now scheduled to meet Suzuki Motor Chairman Osamu Suzuki on Tuesday. He is also slated to meet Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and other Japanese government officials. And what else is lined up for the day? Let's take a look in the day ahead. Congress President Sonia Gandhi will be on a 2-day tour to Raebareli. She will inaugurate the Nagar Panchayat building in Dalmau area and inaugurate some roads under PMGSY on the first day. She is also likely to lay the foundation of the construction of roads in the Sodka area of the district and will meet district party leaders and workers. On Wednesday, the Congress president would hold a Janta Darbar. The National Green Tribunal has cracked the whip on states, directing them to submit details of the cities worst affected by air pollution. The deadline has been set for today, failing which bailable warrants may be issued against them. The tribunal will also hear the centre's plea along with the petition seeking ban on the sale of large diesel-powered vehicles in 11 more cities besides the national capital. Well, this after Heavy Industries Ministry moved the NGT not to extend the diesel vehicle ban to other cities. Vice Admiral Sunil Lamba will today take over as the new Chief of Naval Staff. He will take over charge following Admiral R.K. Dhawan's retirement. Vice Admiral Lamba was commissioned in 1978 into the executive branch of the Navy. He served as the Vice Chief, headed the Southern Naval Command as well as the National Defence College. He has commanded Minesweeper INS Karyanada, Frigate INS Himgiri, and has been the executive officer of INS Virat. A Delhi court will today pronounce its order on the issue of cognizance on a criminal complaint filed against the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. The complaint was filed for allegedly using defamatory and seditious words against Prime Minister Narendra Modi following the CBI raid at the office of his principal secretary. Well, time to take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. News from Haryana. Now sensing a backlash from the Jat community after the Punjab and Haryana High Court stayed the reservation granted to them and 5 other communities. Now central forces have been deployed across the state. Jat leaders have threatened to renew their agitation for a reservation from 5th of June. Central forces have been deployed in 7 sensitive districts in the state, including Jind, Kaithal, Bhiwani, Hisar, Sonipat, Jhajjar and Rohtak. Now, these districts had witnessed widespread violence during the stir in February this year. Paramilitary forces are also guarding the crucial Munaf Canal, which supplies water to a large part of Delhi. Now, the agitating community, remember, had disrupted the supply last time, leaving the national capital parched. Forces have also been deployed along the Yamuna River in Sonipat, where the district administration has imposed a Section 144. The state government has also slapped sedition charges against 4 prominent Jat leaders, including Yashpal Malik, who is the national president of the Akhil Bharatiya Jat Arakshan Sangharsh Samiti. And the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology will soon move a cabinet note on India Post's payment bank proposal and is likely to seek the approval of the Union Cabinet next month. Now, Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said on Monday that the bank will begin functioning from March 2017.
Your friendly neighborhood post office will soon begin to offer banking services. Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said on Monday that the government is mulling a different ownership structure to professionally run the payment banks of the Department of Posts. The government will invest 400 crore rupees to start the banking services of post offices.
ये पोस्ट बैंक जो हमारा है मार्च से हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं, हम कैबिनेट में शॉर्टली जाने वाले हैं, इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल हो गया है। हमारा जो वास्ट नेटवर्क है पोस्टल का, अभी हमें खाली इन प्रिंसिपल अप्रूवल हुआ है। देश और दुनिया की 50 कंसोर्शियम्स आर कीन टू पार्टनर विथ पोस्टल डिपार्टमेंट।
There are over 150,000 post offices in the country, out of which more than 25,000 are departmental post offices and close to 1.3 lakh are branch post offices. The Reserve Bank of India granted in-principle approval to the Department of Posts for setting up payment banks in September 2015, with a stipulation to complete all formalities for setting up the bank within 18 months. About 50 companies, including global giants like Deutsche Bank, Citibank and Barclays, have shown interest to partner with the Postal Department for these banks. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's bring you some weather updates. And temperatures across northern and eastern states saw a decline due to rains and thunder showers, so with the weatherman issuing a heavy rains warning in Uttarakhand on Monday. The Met Office has predicted heavy rains in the hill district of Champawat, Almora, Nainital, Tehri and Pauri. Heavy showers may also lash Dehradun and adjoining areas. Meanwhile, places located above 3,500 meters are likely to receive light snowfall as well. The weatherman has advised people, particularly Char Dham Yatris, to maintain caution and not venture out during thunderstorms. Now, a series of cloudbursts in Tehri and Uttarkashi districts since Saturday have claimed 6 lives, besides damaging a large number of houses. About 700 people under Ghansali Tehsil of Tehri have also been affected by flash floods. Around 500 Indian pilgrims en route to Kailash Mansarovar were stranded in Nepal's mountains region of Hilsa and Simikot due to inclement weather. The Indian Embassy in Kathmandu is in touch with Nepal's Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary, Chief of the Army Staff, Director General of Military Operations and police officials for rescuing the stranded Indians. Inclement weather is hampering rescue operations as well. On the big international story now, Iraqi army, along with the help of coalition airstrikes, have launched their final assault on the Islamic State in Fallujah. Now, the offensive is likely to last at least a few days, with stiff resistance from the militants who have long been entrenched there. However, there is an alarm over conditions faced by close to 50,000 civilians who were not able to flee. Most of them are in need of basic necessities like food, water, medicine and electricity. Meanwhile, the Islamic State targeted 3 districts of Baghdad in attacks, looking as an attempt to deflect attention from Fallujah operation. Explosions and gunfire heard in Fallujah as Iraqi forces push deep to wrest control of the bastion of the Islamic State. Backed by US-led coalition airstrikes, Iraqi forces are continuing with a multi-pronged assault aimed at reaching the city center. Government forces say that while they have taken some militant areas on the outskirts, they are facing fierce resistance and counterattacks. The assault comes after a week of preparations focused on encircling the city, which fell to Islamic State in 2014 and where the militant group later announced the creation of a caliphate.
التنسيق المشترك بين القوات العسكرية وقوات الحشد الشعبي عالي، معركة مثالية من التنسيق والالتزام بالأوامر وسياقات عمل مستمرة. كسرنا كل مواضع العدو الدفاعية.
Though morale of the government forces are high, an estimated 50,000 civilians remain trapped and besieged, facing starvation. Those in the city have had little access to food and clean water since roads into the jihadi stronghold were cut off in December last year. While several civilians were able to flee, Iraqi military has urged remaining ones to either leave the city or stay indoors. However, the Islamic State is preventing civilians from leaving, hoping to use them as human shields to slow the Iraqi military's offensive.
لا أدوية ولا غذائية. شو كنتوا عايشين؟ شنو عايشين؟ عايشين على التمرات الخاثرة واشترينا الكيلو والشكر ب50 وب40 وب30 وأخير ماكو بطلناه ما عاد نشربه.
Meanwhile, Islamic State has responded to the offensive in Fallujah by dispatching suicide bombers in and around Baghdad. 21 people were killed in the attacks in 3 districts. The assault on Fallujah comes amid a concerted campaign against Islamic State in Iraq and Syria that has stretched the militants across multiple fronts. Although it has a less strategic value than the populous city of Mosul, the Sunni city of Fallujah carries great symbolic weight for the Iraqi government and the Islamic State, indicating that the offensive could last for days, if not weeks. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. On to cricket news now, and England emerged on top in the second test after negating Sri Lanka's second innings fight back to claim an unassailable 2-0 lead in the three-match series. Now, English captain Alistair Cook became the youngest player to reach 10,000 test runs in guiding his team to a 9-wicket victory in the second test against Lanka, clinching a convincing series win. Alistair Cook became the first England batsman to score 10,000 test runs as his side sealed a series win over Sri Lanka at the Riverside on Monday. England won the second test by 9 wickets with more than a day to spare to get an unassailable 2-0 up in the three-match series. Set 79 for victory after making Sri Lanka follow on, England finished on 80 for 1. Left-handed opener Cook was 47 not out and Nick Compton, who hit the winning runs, 22 not out. His innings saw Cook score the 5 he needed to become the youngest and just the 12th player of all time to make 10,000 test runs.
For Alistair Cook. He could now get on with his life.
It is obviously a very special moment for me personally. I suppose to join the club and the kind of the company that the people who have scored 10,000 runs, it certainly means a lot.
Earlier, Dinesh Chandimal's excellent 100 kept England waiting as Sri Lanka made 475 in their second innings. Chandimal's 126 was his 6th 127 test, but first outside Asia. His more than 5-hour innings ended when he was bowled driving at Stuart Broad. Sri Lanka managed meagre totals of 91 and 119 during an innings and 88-run defeat in the series opener at Headingley.
We talked a lot about the, bringing back the fight, the Sri Lankan fight that we've, not had in the past couple of weeks. And the boys showed a lot of resilience, especially after the first 3 innings, to come back strong and to score 475 runs was very pleasing.
The hosts, who have named an unchanged 12-man squad, will have the opportunity to complete a series whitewash in the third and final test at Lord's, which begins on 9th of June. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, that's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.